So it may be redundant to say dipshit insurance defense lawyers because most of them are dipshits. I deal with so many of them. They're so nasty. Most of them that you encounter, you can at least work with professionally, but some of them really like to attack personally, which is I've always thought sort of shitty. If I'm arguing against somebody, it's not personal. It's about the facts. It's about what the case law says. It's about just the legal stuff. It's not about poking at people individually, being shitty, having an attitude. And my theory on insurance defense lawyers is they basically, since they bid down for cases, they see a lot of shit. And so they just get really jaded. But you chose that. You chose to be that kind of lawyer. You chose to be a shill for insurance companies. You chose to work for these freaking devil corporations and to sell your soul to the devil and to just try to stick it to people who've been hurt, who've had their lives upended, sometimes ruined, sometimes ended as a result of some jackass's negligence. And you just happen to represent that insurance company. And what you're trying to do is minimize liability so some asshole in New York City can get more money on their stock, so that their stock options are better when they eventually, sell them and cash them in or whatever the hell they do with them. Obviously they're going to make a lot of money off of them. They're locked in at a certain price, and it's a whole different deal. You want the stock to go up, and then they get them locked in, and then they make a bunch of money on the difference. So they're protecting those kinds of people and not average people, and so they bid down on these cases, and they're just they bid down and they end up like $130 an hour or something, which is not an insignificant amount of money. But if you're a lawyer, that's piss poor. You should be billing, have an hourly rate of well over several $100s, not 130 something. That's it's just cheap, and you're cheap if you do that. And it's a low amount to sell yourself out for. But anyways, some of them are like that. And, the ones that see this and are offended by it, they probably think it's about them individually. But that's like the song, don't you think this song is about you? You're so vain. Well, it's not about them individually but it's about them as a collective whole. And they're just a collective shitty whole. They're just like a big turd that clogs the toilet.